401k advisors want to build a scalable practice, but aren't always sure what to do next. Welcome to Outcomes, the podcast designed to help advisors think, make decisions, and cast a vision to create a business for the future. Here's your host, Ross Marino, financial planner, author, speaker, and CEO of Advisor2X.
Welcome to Outcomes, the podcast. Today, I am joined by the man that needs no introduction, JD. How's it going this morning?
I'm good, Ross. I'm stoked to be here with you, man. I got a hot cup of coffee. It's a sunny morning in California, and I'm ready to talk some 401k shop.
Well, it sounds pretty quiet over there. Are you all alone in the shop?
Yeah, I'm all alone in the office. You know, California's been pretty strict with our COVID rules, right? But so we shut down our Silicon Valley office in April of last year. I'm in the San Diego office, and no one comes in here but me. They all work from home now. Everyone at Plan Design Consultants, my TPA firm. But I get the luxury of coming into the office all by myself, making myself a pot of coffee. We got a little kitchen here. I play the music I want to play and bang away on the keyboard. So I've been kind of enjoying it, actually.
Not a bad way to go. Well, I know that you start your day pretty intentional, and we've had conversations. You know that I journal and I have a routine in the morning that is really important to me. And you're a fun-loving guy. You're a surfer, but you also love the industry. You're a successful guy, and all successful people, in my experience, are grounded. They are intentional at what they do. So how about you give us a little insight into how you start your day, and how does JD stay grounded?
I prefer my personal brand to be one of, hungover in the morning and laying down in a pile of empty beer cans. That's how I prefer the industry to see me. But no, the reality is I love getting up early, for the most part. And if nothing feels better for me than getting on the Peloton treadmill, before I've done anything in my day, just sweat it out for 60 minutes. Maybe I'm listening to a podcast. I definitely have listened to the Outcomes podcast while running on the tread. I pretty much will not miss a day of meditation, just quick 15 minutes meditation. I use the Headspace app. So if anyone's out there, I think you can get like free 10 sessions on that sucker or something, but love my meditation. And my 18-year-old daughter got me into journaling. And so, yeah, I'm heavy into that too. So yeah, don't tell anyone. It's our little secret, but I'm a big fan of having kind of structure and balance in my life. And then, I don't say it all the time, but I surf every day. I mean, unless it's, super windy and rainy or something, but pretty much every day I'm surfing. And that's almost like meditation in itself. You're paddling out into the ocean, and you kind of leave everything else behind, right? You really have to focus on the waves, and it's constantly moving. And so you're with nature. A pelican dives into the water next to you to grab a fish, and a seal swims by you, and you see a school of fish swimming. That's something that I experience every day in the ocean. So that I got to give kudos to that too. So all those things balance me and help me then when I hop in front of that computer and start talking 401k, start working on our business and the future for our business, working with my sales team, working with our admin team. It makes me a better 401ker for sure to have that balance. So
I had a great conversation with Lisa Petronio a few months ago, and she was talking about different personality types, an article that she had read in the Harvard Business Review. And one of them was an integrator. And in the article, what they meant was someone who can go out and surf, but they may have a thought about business. And for the integrator, it's okay. They'll stop, maybe make a mental note, or if they have their phone with them, I don't know why you would surf with your phone, but right, you're not going to do that, but you can actually stop, take notes, and then carry on with your day. And that's okay. Whereas other people, they have to have hard dividers between work and play. Now, surfing is a pretty consuming activity. I think it would be awesome. Are you an integrator? Do you have thoughts? Do you get inspiration out there for business, or is that just Zen time for you?
This is going to sound sick and disgusting. I am absolutely an integrator in the sense that I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be honest with everyone. Like, I'm always thinking 401k. I'm always thinking about business. Like, and one of the reasons why is because I love it. Like I'm really into it. So I would say that it doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm always relating it to my business or my career in some way. I mean, I could be at a rock concert and I'm making analogies to, what they're doing on stage to what I could do in my business. Now, I will say with surfing, you're right. It's pretty mentally consuming, right? There's not a lot of downtime when you're avoiding waves and trying to find the right waves. But there are what we call lulls, where you're kind of just sitting out there and certain kind of swells where the waves aren't coming consistently. And so you definitely have that reflection time. And sure, yeah, I'm going to think about 401k while I'm sitting out there. Yeah, I'm sorry to everyone out there. I shouldn't have said it. It's true, though. I'm always thinking about business. God darn it. I got to change.
Well, I'm going to challenge you and say, you know what, JD, I don't think you have to change. And here's why. The book Innovators DNA, fantastic book.
You always got these books, all these quotes from the books, the Ross Marino book quotes. All right, go ahead.
I have a folder in OneNote and it just says book reviews. And I dictate my notes into my phone in the morning when I'm reading or listening to books.
Do.
Yeah, because there's no way you're going to remember it. And the Innovators DNA, it talked about the best entrepreneurs, the most successful ones out there. And what they were able to do is to create associations or connections and see how two unrelated things could actually work together. And they get experiences outside of their business. So you're always thinking 401k, but it's not necessarily because the thought was 401k. It's because something else may have prompted you and you're connecting the dots, but that's how you become successful. So that's a good thing. And what I always want to watch out for, and you and I had talked about this, is, not everything is going to be a positive experience where it's going to make you a better person or help your business. Sometimes there's just random thoughts and random activities and they're neutral.
Sure.
And neutral's okay. We got to be okay with neutral. That was part of my time this morning is, neutral's okay. Sometimes we're just chilling out, but it can be exhausting to always be making those associations and those connections, even when we're relaxing. But most successful people out there, man, they love what they do. The idea of retirement, is that the scariest thing ever? I can't imagine what I would do on Monday morning if I was retired. I'm sure my wife would just point towards the door. Just go. You better go do something, because I would drive her crazy, but I don't know.
I get asked that retirement question a lot, and I might be wrong. I mean, we won't know. I turn 50 next month. I think I could retire. So that's at least how I answer that question. Like, and especially the surfer in me, there's something about chasing waves and tides and different swells that definitely can be consuming. So I still answer that question where I think I could turn the lights off and go retire. We'll see. But I liked what you said about connecting the two things, because the more you talk about it, I do feel like that. Let's say if I'm making the analogy from a rock concert to my business, I'm soaking in that rock concert. Right? I'm taking in all the details. So it's like I'm very present and I'm there. It's just in the back of my brain, I'm making these connections to my 401k business. Like, could we do something like this or something like that? So anyways, I like that you said that. You make me feel less bad about the fact that I'm always thinking about work, because I have a self-realization that, no, I'm there, I'm present. I'm really soaking in the non-work thing. It's just my brain can't help but tie it to my business. So,
yeah, making those associations is important. It's part of success. It's part of what fuels fluid intelligence and being able to problem solve with new information. And there's studies on the best CEOs out there went to other countries to work for a period of time, and they went to other cultures and were around different types of people and businesses and had different experiences. So it all works out. So connect the dots. It's all good. Well, let's dive into something that I think advisors are aware of, but I'm not sure if we really understand where this is going over 5 or 10 years. And that is that my client isn't just my client, and a participant in one of my plans isn't just my participant. They are a relationship, and that relationship has value, not just to me, but also to the record keeper and anybody else that has access to their participant. So how do you think that's going to play out in the future?
Well, first of all, not to counter you, but I kind of think of it differently. There's two things I'm a huge proponent of. Like, I'm a proponent of our industry as a whole, but I'm also a proponent of the financial advisor, and I've said this on some other podcasts. I just feel like the financial advisor and the role that they play. And again, everything that comes out of my mouth is all 401k, right? I'm myopically 401k. So just for your audience. And so I don't think a 401k works in any way, shape, or form without the advisor and the advisor's role and the services that the advisor provide. I also encountered you. I'm a TPA. My clients are not my clients. My clients are the advisor's clients. The clients that I have that are with record keepers, those are not the record keepers' clients. Those are the advisor's clients. That's how I see it. The advisor went out, had that relationship, and brought that client, that company to that record keeper and brought it to me, the TPA. Therefore, it's not mine, it's his or hers, the advisor. And so I want advisors to think about the industry as it moves forward, and record keepers and different third-party institutions, and yeah, maybe even third-party administrators, start to try to use data to monetize the participants and offer different services and different solutions, this kind of convergence of health, wealth, and retirement. I want the advisors out there to be hyper sensitive and cognizant of their role in that going forward and maintaining control. Like, I think we're going to be in a better position as an industry if we put the advisor in the leadership role and we put the advisor in the control role, and not the, no offense to record keepers and these kind of third party, but I don't want the control with Fortune 500 companies that are asset gatherers and trying to generate, revenue. I want the control with the advisor, whether that's a national firm, or whether that's a local advisor hanging a shingle. Either way, I feel a lot safer for the client and safer for our industry. I'm a little worried about where our industry might head as these large corporations start to try to monetize the advisor's clients, which scares me a bit. Does that make sense?
It totally does, because I think the business it's for the advisor to lose. So as long as we are spearheading the initiatives and we are serving the plan sponsors and the participants, and I tend to focus a little more, I guess, mentally on the participants because they're the end user. And if we're helping the participants achieve the goals that they want to achieve, then I think we're in the driver's seat. But at the end of the day, if the participants have needs that are important and we're not going to fill it, then we deserve to lose the business. And the record keeper should foster those relationships. Because if you step back and look at it, let's just be blunt about it. It's not about the advisor. It's about the participant.
Sure.
That's the center of what we do. And if I'm not going to fill their needs and I'm not going to give the services that they need or deliver it in a way that they need it, I should say, then it serves me right that a record keeper should step in. So do I have a problem with the record keepers going after the participants? I'm going to say no, not at all. Because if I'm taking care of them, I'm okay with that.
Here's how I interpret that. One, I'm totally okay with an advisor looking to a record keeper and saying, oh, that's a great tool or service that they've created, that record keeper. Therefore, I bless that and I say it's okay. And I will put it in front of my client and my client's participants because I'm in control. And I've vetted that out and I think it's the right solution. However, I am not comfortable with leaving that decision to the industry as a whole and to the large record keepers. I don't trust the record keepers. I don't trust their motivations. I don't trust their, what they're trying to accomplish. I trust the advisor. I trust the advisor community to do what's right for the participant. And so I want that choice in the advisor's hands, not in the record keeper's hands or some third party institution. And that's where we're heading. We're heading towards this world where we're kind of letting go of our hold of the client and letting these other institutions kind of take control of things. And so again, that's fine. I don't think advisors have to create technology within their own office to do this stuff. I want them to leverage technology. I just want to make sure that they're in charge. That's all. And that they're the one guiding the clients to make the right decisions on what technology should be put in place and what services should be offered to those participants. Because we're going there fast, Ross. Like it's happening really, really quick. We're going to turn around in a blink of an eye. Our industry is going to look completely different than it looks today. And it's all going to center around data, and it's all going to center around the monetization of the participant, that's a horrible way to say it. I'm also excited about it. It's going to center around new, exciting solutions that move the needle and make a difference for those participants that you're talking about. We're going to see really cool new things 3, 4, 5 years from now that don't exist today. And I'm super excited about that. I just want to make sure that the power and the control, I've said it over and over, remain with the advisor and they don't lose sight of that. Otherwise, it's going to be a scary world for us in the future, in my mind. But
so the advisors 5 years from now that look at their practice and say, man, I haven't kept up. I'm behind and I think I'm in trouble. What do you think is going to lead an advisor to that point? What should we be doing now to make sure I'm not that guy 5 years from now?
Well, here's the classic answer too. I want to be clear first out of the gates. Can a niche 401k advisor survive when this new world starts? I believe they can. You're always going to have the exception, right? So let me say it that way. There are going to be a few. There's going to be some that are just so darn good at what they do and are so good at communicating their value that they're going to exist in this new modern world and be fine. But those others that you talked about that I think are going to wake up and go like, holy cow, I'm losing business, month after month. They're going to lose it to these firms that are offering their clients more, right? I can't believe I'm saying it, but I do believe in the wealth, health, retirement convergence and the utilization of data. And so they're going to lose a client. They're going to lose a $10 million 401k plan. They're going to go to that 401k plan and say, why did you guys leave me? Like, our relationship's been so good for 7 years. And the answer is going to be, this other firm came in and they're doing like all these other things for our participants that really need it. They really need this help in their personal life with emergency savings and budgeting and financial planning and just saving in general, all these things outside of the 401k. And this firm looked at our health benefits and compared them to our retirement benefits and where the dollars are being spent. And we're so sorry, Joe or Sally, but we just felt like we're getting more bang for our buck with this new firm. And all you do is just 401k and you review the funds, you review the fees, you put on a wonderful fiduciary review meeting, but that's it. And that's all you've done for 7 years. So we had to move on to something bigger, better, more evolved. That's my concern. And I think that's absolutely going to happen. So the advisor today needs to be aware of that and start building out their practice, finding technology that they can snap on to their own solutions, and then maybe also partnering with other firms. I'm not saying that every advisor can be an expert in all things. I don't think it's that complicated to kind of figure out they're all related to financial intelligence, but that's fine. Partner with other firms, other advisors that have those skill sets and protect yourself for the future, or you're going to be that person asking that $10 million client why they left you. And you don't want to be that person.
You don't want to be that person. And I think a mindset that some advisors might take to help them transition is the 401k is really about tomorrow. It's down the road. It's once I stop working. That's the primary function of it. It's saving for the future. In general, people spend more time worrying about today than worrying about 20 years from now.
Right.
And there are financial services that are required today because of what they're worried about. If I'm not going to deliver them as a plan advisor and the marketplace has those solutions, my plan is at risk, and it should be. But I think the challenge with advisors is, do I not need to be a 401k specialist? And I would say that's not the point at all. You have to be a 401k specialist. You should be, but it's just not going to be enough. That can be the foundation or the core, but now you have to figure out how to add these other services, because once those other services are easily accessible to plan sponsors and participants, like you said, if you're not going to deliver them, you're going to lose that plan. And for many people, they love the 401k world, right? They're all about 401ks and they love it. And they're waking up into a world where it's not going to be enough. And I don't know what it'll take for some of them to expand beyond that. But yeah, it's partnerships, it's joining groups, but the delivery of financial services through the workplace, compliments of the cell phone, is coming million miles a minute. And either I'm going to coordinate that as a plan advisor, or I think somebody else will. And in many cases, it can be the record keeper because they can do it as well.
I'm the biased 401k guy, right? So I feel like, and I think there's a lot of other thought leaders that feel this way, that the 401k is it's your Trojan horse, right? The 401k is where you should start. 401k is the logical service to offer first and then spider out into those other things. So it makes sense to me that you would make sure that 401k is part of that suite of services. Can we talk, it's dicey to talk about this, but I'm going to be a bit capitalistic here or whatever, in terms of making money, which I don't think is a bad thing. If I'm a 401k only advisor and I'm dealing with fee compression and it's tough for me to make enough money off just my 401k clients, why does it not make sense for me to offer other services to those same clients that I can then generate revenue from? And I want to be like prudent revenue, fair revenue, for the services that I provide. But that's how business works. Like when you go to McDonald's, they sell you a Coke and fries with your hamburger. I don't go to McDonald's, so I shouldn't be repping those places. Or I've used this analogy a lot in the past. And so I apologize if someone out there has heard this before, but I think it's a good one, is the gas station, right? So when you go to a gas station, you go there primarily to fuel your car, right? To put gas in your car. But then the smart gas station owners, they have a mini mart, right? Where you can go in and get a water or a power bar or whatever. And then the super smart ones, you have a car wash on the side. You can run your car through the car wash. Actually, when you pump your gas these days, it asks you like, do you want to wash your car? Yes or no? You're like, no, dang it, I don't want to wash my damn car. And then the really smart ones, apparently they make all their money with the repair shop, the mechanic, to go in and get an oil change or whatever. So that's business 101. That's entrepreneurship 101. How can you give your clients more services so you can generate more money as a company and make it convenient for your clients? To me, that's exactly what we're going to do in 401k and financial services for these companies and their participants. And so an advisor should be excited about that. There's an opportunity for your company to make way more money, fairly. I always struggle when I say that, fairly, prudently. No one wants to rip off the clients, but if you can make more money from your clients, why wouldn't you build your business model that way? Like that's the smartest way to build a business model, is it not?
Well, I think some advisors might look at the law of diminishing returns, which is I can provide plan management and advising, and I make X amount per hour by doing that. But once I start adding these other services that maybe I'm not even sure how to bill for them, they're going to be extra work, but I don't see direct revenue or direct margin from it. So some people may hesitate to add those because the numbers may not be as impressive to them. But I wonder if what they're missing is that it is inevitable those other services are going to be added. And maybe the law of diminishing returns as far as margins is in place with those extra services. The growth of your business and the plan acquisitions, you are going to be taking business from the other advisors who are going to do nothing other than doing the plan. So the motivation financially may not just be the pluses and minuses of this service, right? But it's the fact that you're going to be able to grow your book of business even more. So maybe your margins, I'll make up numbers, go down 5% next year. But when your top line is now averaging 30, you're okay with that. I wonder if that's going to be.
I think that's a fair safety net there. But I also do feel like there's plenty of services that you can offer those clients that you can charge for and that you can make revenue on. Again, fairly. A client's willing to pay for something if they're getting value from it. And so if you can communicate and prove that value, they'll be willing to pay for it down the line. And then sometimes I forget, I'm not a massive company. I'm a mom and pop shop, but my entrepreneur brain is always like, yeah, adding people. I'm not thinking about doing things myself. I'm thinking about adding people to my team to do these services. So I don't see it as when I give that solution, I'm not thinking of the one person advisor that's now going, okay, I was one guy or one woman, and now I'm going to spread myself thin trying to do these 4 other things. I'm like, no, get out of your way, man. Hire people, partner with, grow your business, stupid. It doesn't have to be just you. I mean, frick, hire some people that can do those types of things. Come on, man. It's being an entrepreneur. And like you said, if you don't do it, yeah, you might struggle. You might lose the very business that you work so hard to build and create because you're unwilling to bob and weave and evolve and change with what's happening.
Go straight with the Who Not How from Dan Sullivan, which he has a new book that just came out. So I had to mention it. I wasn't going to say a new book, but I just
hashtag nerd alert. Hashtag nerd alert. I'm just glad that I actually know the author, the person that you referred to, made myself feel smarter. So
there you go. Yeah, Dan Sullivan's great, but that's one of the, I think, transformational thought processes for the entrepreneur and the business owner is, and you just said it, it's not you. If you know what needs to be done, great, figure out who's going to do it. Because there's either a who that you can do internally, you can outsource it. But that's the challenge. We see these services and think, oh, now I've got to do this and I've got to learn that. And I'm already overwhelmed and I'm working too late. It's not the what. Once you figure out the what, it's a who. You got to figure out who needs to do it. Because there's somebody out there that's, if you're an entrepreneur and typical solo advisor, there's definitely somebody better to do almost everything that I'm doing.
Yeah. I have a unique perspective on that because I took over my father's company, right? So my father started our company in 1975, and my father's generation is very much a micromanager, right? So when I learned from my dad, who was my guru, he was the type of business owner that, could do basically every job in the office, right? He knew how to do everything, and he could stick his nose into every one of his employees and what they were doing and give his advice and his feedback on how they could do it better. And so he very much, what's that quote? Like, work on your business, not in your business. My father worked in his business for the most part. And so I came around second generation, and I like to say, and I think this is really truthful, is it's the laziness in me. It's the surfer in me that as I began to control the company, what I did one step at a time was everything that my father had taught me to do that I didn't like to do, I outsourced it to someone else, an employee, right? Like a simple example, like I don't like talking to clients that are pissed off and complaining about things. That's not a fun task for me. I do not want to have something on my calendar on Monday morning that is a 8 a.m. call to talk to an upset client. Not my jam. I'm not into it. So I allocated that to someone else within our company, right? I said, you're going to deal with this stuff. You're better at it than I am. I don't like it. And I slowly did that for everything, right? I don't like running payroll. I don't want to be involved in running payroll. I don't do that. I don't like doing all kinds of, I didn't like selling, to be honest with you. And so now I got a sales team of people that sell. So I just kept removing myself from as many things as I could. So I didn't have to wake up on Monday and have things that I had to do. And then I could just work on the things that I wanted to do. And so it sounds lazy and it sounds like a cop out, but it actually kind of works, man. Now I've built this business that works well and it works without me. And anyways, I hope that makes sense.
I love it. And my new favorite phrase is now going to be not my jam.
Yeah, no, not into it. I want to do the things I want to do. And then I'm happier. And then maybe that fuels what we talked about earlier. Maybe that's why I'm always thinking about business, is because all the things I do in business, when I come into this office, I shouldn't overdo it. Are there some things that are tough? Yeah. I watch our balance sheet, I budget for our company. If we have to let someone go, I hate doing that, but I still do it. I feel like I owe them that respect of them talking to me. So there are things I do, but 95% of the stuff is stuff that I just love. And that's probably why I walk around all day thinking about 401k, is because, I love my 9 to 5, because I created it that way. I made it that way. Damn it, Ross. When's the Ross Marino book coming out?
Actually, it'll be out on April 27th on Amazon.
Really?
For real.
Are you serious? I had no idea.
Totally.
I want people listening to know I had no idea. I was just trying to crack a joke. Right on.
Yeah, it's called Shaping Change, How to Respond When Life Disrupts Your Retirement Plans.
Okay, cool,
and
man.
It's all around how life just sends you on detours, and whatever you think's going to happen in the future, as we've all learned, odds are ain't happening, but it's okay.
Look at this. Look at this. I set you up for a book plug.
How about that? Book plug.
That's cool. How long did it take you to do that?
18 months.
Okay.
So I had to pull in a co-author, a lot of psychology. It's on transition management. So had to pull in some really smart people who have expertise that is way, way beyond my knowledge.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. I've been working on it for a long time. It's a passion project for sure. But
very cool.
Yeah, I think it's neat to understand that, to go back to from the entrepreneur standpoint. I could monologue, but I'll just say it quickly, which is, yes, we have to do our highest and best use. And as an entrepreneur, it's a short list. One of my jokes is I have a tool belt just like everybody else, but there's just not a lot of tools in there. And people will make jokes about, what exactly do you do there, Ross? And we'll just kind of laugh. I'm like, well, I do some of this and some of that, but there really isn't any day-to-day function that I'm responsible for, in part because, and I don't mean this as a joke, I don't have a broad skill set in a lot of the things that it takes to run a business. So I don't mean that jokingly. Your typical entrepreneur isn't. You're not cut out for day-to-day. The day-to-day stuff is hard work. And man, that's not my jam. See?
Yeah.
It's coming out, JD. It is.
Wearing off on you. Be careful. You don't want too much meat to wear off on you. No, I mean, I said it in a funny way, but I was being really serious because it was my fear and my laziness that really motivated me to put other people in charge of things. But then when I look back on it, I'm like, oh, that was pretty smart, because I do, of course, believe that you run a much better company when it's not necessarily about people being better at something than you. Although, because I think I'm pretty damn good at a lot of things. But that's just the cocky narcissist in me. But it's about putting people in a position and then empowering them to do only that. And so you end up with a bunch of generals, right? A bunch of people that are in charge of their area, and that they obsess on their area. And then if you've got a whole bunch of those in your company and they're all empowered to kind of move forward, evolve, and make their area better and better and better, you succeed as a company, as opposed to like my dad running around trying to control all those different areas. And so I'm just a huge fan of empowering people. And this is a God honest truth. I mean, when people come to work for me and like they're going to be in charge of conversions and installations, as an example, I sit down with them and I'm like, this is your baby, man. Like, you are the boss of this division. Like, you're in charge of yourself. And so you need to come back with ideas and improvements. And like, this is all you. Don't sit around and wait for someone else to motivate you, to tell you to do something different. This is your gig. You're the one who's sitting in this chair doing it every day. You're in the best position to make choices on how we move forward. And then I just see my job more as kind of just being the motivator and inspiring everyone and kind of keeping the culture together and keeping everyone moving in the same direction. And then, making some big decisions like, should we offer a PEP? Should we not offer a PEP? Should we work with these vendors or not these vendors? Should we add to our sales team or add to our admin? I'm doing the chess moves and then letting everyone else just crush it at their specific jobs. So
being a micromanager really just tells people that what they're doing is not good enough.
Yeah.
And that's a broad stroke. So slight exaggeration there, but that's what happens when you micromanage. Not only are you telling them that what they're doing isn't good enough, but they're not doing it right. And you pretty much suck the life out of them. And if you're a micromanager as a parent, it's even worse. Your kids will have no confidence, right? It's the process. We want people to think and grow. So
I'm going to have my father tune into this podcast. Do you hear that, Dad? That's for you. Ross was talking directly at you, you micromanager. Sorry.
Hey, I am all about progress from the process and not the end product. What did that just come out?
Was that good? A book?
There's the next book, JD, right there. So yeah, I think that's awesome. So
by the way, I love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. I'm just kidding. I love you.
We're going to go into the final question. I'll tell you what it is, and then I'm going to have to give you an apology. And our final question is always the magic wand, where we ask you to wave the magic wand and change anything in the world not related to COVID. But before I ask you that question, I have to apologize because JD, the party guy image, I think we kind of shattered that a little bit today, because you are a stereotypical entrepreneur who loves what he does, who is constantly thinking and associating and empowering people who work for you. You see challenges, you're passionate about your clients, about the end result, about the advisor. Yeah, the party dude thing is great, but you are a consummate professional. You run your personal life that way. I know that. Professionally, when you talk, it's plain as day to the people around you. So I'm sorry if we've not, taken you down a notch with the party guy and your personal brand there.
You're killing my personal brand.
Killing it. We did. We destroyed it a little bit, but kudos to you and respect, because success is not accidental. And while it may take a little bit of luck, luck is never going to be enough. You have to love what you do. You got to take care of people. You got to work hard. You're intense. You do what you do, and your success is proof of that. So I love the interview. I love listening to you, getting to know you a little bit better. And if I was a party guy, I'd party with you, JD. I mean, I really would. I just, we've done the interview before there. So taking shots of water, that's my gig. So that's all
we had you on the couch. Well, I really appreciate it. That's very nice thing to say. But yeah, no, I'll continue to get drunk every Thursday night on TV and drag down my brand. So don't worry about it. It's all good.
So let's wave the wand. I know you think about things, anything in the world, if you could change, what would you change?
What, don't people just say like world peace and shit? I mean, come on.
No, you don't get off that easy. You got to go in deeper than that.
Well, if one thing I could change, geez, man. And here goes my brain. I'm going to bum everyone out. I'm going to straight 401k instead of world peace and all that kind of stuff. Well, I'd like to see change in the 401k industry. And I think it's starting to happen. I would like to see less competition between all of us, vendors, advisors, TPAs. And I'd like to see more collaboration and more teamwork, because I want the industry as a whole to be of one mind and moving forward. And then this is impossible, right? But because I get the magic wand, I get to make this happen. Yeah, I want less competition and more collaboration. And I'm starting to see some things like that. I'm seeing these TPAs grouping together. There's this cool new Income America thing that I need to learn about, where all these companies got together to create this guaranteed income solution. I just want to see more of these like partnerships amongst competitors. So boring answer. Sorry, world peace. That's going to be my one for the.
Well, I'm going to call you out and say that's not boring. That's actually fantastic. It is happening. The people that want to collaborate, who love what they do, and they know iron sharpens iron, and 1 + 1 = 3 or more. If we get together, we do come up with better solutions. And your podcast, your show does that. You talk about it. I'm doing it. We do it at conferences. So we're out there. We just got to keep doing it, because it really is beneficial to everybody, but we need to see a lot more of it. So awesome answer. JD, thank you so much for being on the show. This was great.
Thanks, Ross. Hey, Thursday nights, 4:30 Pacific, 7:30 Eastern, Retireaholics. It's on Zoom, man. Check it out. Thanks, Ross.
Thank you for listening to Outcomes. Subscribe now to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Advisor 2X. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service providers with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.